Dibal, it's sometimes very annoying to listen to Amatangi. Because this is life we are playing with. And when Bonnie says the procurement of weapons is a preserve of DOD, he's so right. So why were people trying to procure from DP's office?
Please.
Echesa is a simple citizen, should be. How can he access the DP's office like his house, like his home, in the village, not even here in Nairobi, because nowadays, because of insecurity, your gate may be closed. But here is this young man, he just walks in and out of the second highest office in the land. And he goes there with these wazungus to dupe them, and nobody questioned. Even if you looked at the ranting of the DP over the weekend, he was not focusing on Echesa. He's not focusing because Echesa is on his side, always on his side. So what we are asking, I know the office and the VIP waiting room where those people sat from the time Raila was the Prime Minister. You can see them, if you are sitting in that office, you can see them sitting there. What we are being treated to is firefight. And you know, how can an AP or a police officer in a DP's office on that video be talking on a phone when he is on duty? What was in that envelope? And where would the audacity come from that an AP can talk on a phone and take an envelope and do all those things in that kind of office? It means the occupiers of that office have issues. They do not know how to behave, or they are involved in serious issues. I have seen a video, Deba. Now that you think blaming Kinoti is fashionable, I've seen a video of Echesa testing rifles, high-powered rifles. Where were they trying to take the arms or the weapons? So to
videos from where?
I have seen it, a video of Echesa in a military installation in Poland. I have seen it. And we will produce the video so that they are surprised because they know it exists. I have also, I want to tell my friend Wamatangi, you know, when Muchai was murdered, Kinoti was not there. The best thing which has ever happened to this country is Haji and Kinoti. Kenya is in good space, and people must be arrested. There is no way a private citizen can have foreigners who are not checked into his office, and DP's office. Debal, you try, after this show, try going there, see if you can go through the gate.
He will.
It is not possible without people checking you. So what am I saying? The DP runs and says, I know there is a scheme of things to come. He sits in National Security Council meetings. He's the deputy of the president. How does he know? And how can he not tell Kenyans that they're planning to kill me? What we do here, why we wake up at 3 a.m., is to defend some things or fend off such issues. Debal, I will defend William Ruto if he tells me so and so, even if it is Kinoti, intends to kill me. I will come out and defend. But the DP cannot cheat Kenyans that Kenya has only one commander-in-chief and he is I am the deputy. How can he go to a funeral in Nyeri and tell Kanini Kega that I am the deputy? So why did the president give me money in a funeral? We did not know that the deputy president deputizes as president even in funerals. Kanini Kega was given money to take to a funeral. How then does he run away from deputizing president when it comes to arms procurement? And remember, Italy, Rome, Italy, is the one that oversees Poland and those places.
Thank you.
And you ask yourself, who works in Rome?
All right, thank you. So I'll give you a moment. You wanted a second, 30 seconds before you come to Otiende?
No, just give him fast.
I'll give Otiende, okay, fine. Even Boni Halwale, you wanted to rejoin on something?
No, we'll do later.
You do later, fine, okay.
You know, there's one thing that is true. I did not know Sergeant Kenei, but his death and the circumstances are truly sad. And I mean, watching the speech of the father, you know, watching the wife, it is truly sad. And I think we would all agree that it is urgently important to find out what happened.
Very important.
And in doing so, it's not about politicizing. It is about requiring us to have a country where you cannot have murders that are unresolved. There's nothing political about that. As much as we want all the others that have been pending, way back to Tomboy and James Kariuki, resolved. But Senator Aaron Cheruiyot and Dr. Boni Halwale, because you had the advantage of knowing the late Kenei, you cannot sit where you are and say the things you are saying, because then you are not helping the family. You must be prepared to come forth and truly assist in resolving it. And this is not about politics. If anyone eliminated Sergeant Kenei for the right reasons or for the wrong reasons, we need to know. So when then, Aaron Cheruiyot, you tell us that you have information that of the 9 people who are tasked to investigate, 7 of them came to a different conclusion from what DCI Kinoti came to. You should tell us, what is that conclusion? Are you suggesting that most of those investigators thought it was suicide? Are we still going back there, or what is it? Yeah. Because if you want to help us, if you want to help the family, if you want to help resolve, let's not prevaricate. And that's the point I was making. If you want to help resolve a murder, you do not stand in the way of investigations. It is true, and I've said this before here, and to this extent I will agree with you and Boni Halwale to an extent. We have had a situation where DCI Kinoti and to some extent the DPP have now treated us to accepting that you can prosecute through the media. That you bring your investigations to the media, even before the people being investigated know, before they're even taken to court. Mm-hmm. That you pronounce your evidence in the media even before it's presented to the defense. That is wrong. Mm-hmm. And that I stand by. Mm-hmm. However, when I watched DCI, that interview, it strikes me that the purpose of that interview was different. It was actually a cry from the wilderness. It was an expression of frustration. This is a gentleman saying that he's trying to investigate the murder of a sergeant in the deputy president's office, but he's not getting the cooperation. That's how I understood it. And you know, the deputy president is his boss. So there's a sense of public pressure that sometimes comes with it and might enable people who are blocking you to allow you access. That's how I understood it. That is why I am not as critical of him on this one as I've been on the others before. Lastly, Boni Halwale asked me, why do I ask the deputy president to resign? You know, I think I've been consistent on this. For weeks and weeks and weeks, I've always said that in my view, Article 147 is very clear, and let me just reread it to Boni Halwale. Article 147 says the deputy president shall be the principal assistant of the president and shall deputize for the president in the execution of the president's function.
Correct.
And under 2, The deputy president shall perform the function conferred by this constitution and any other functions of the president as the president may assign.
Yeah.
Maybe I could put it closely. I could put it to you in Luo. That is to say,
Please put it
the
in lawyer.
deputy president does not have any independent function
Of course.
except deputizing the president.
That's true.
Okay.
So the question is this. When you then come to a stage when you can no longer deputize, when you come to the stage when, as recently as this weekend, you say the system is against you, just like the cartoonist is asking, who is the system? Because there's only one other person above you, that is the president. When you come to the stage when you say BBI, which is gazetted by the president, is a fraud, and you will stop reggae. When you come to the stage when you call the presidency and some others dynasties, when you come to the stage when you now attack a meeting organized with the blessings of the president and say hiyo ni mkutano ya wachawi na wale wa kuvuta bangi, I mean, you have stopped having faith in the person you are elected to deputize.
All right, thank you.
You can't deputize him. Then resign. That's what I mean.
Right.
It's not, and let me clarify this. Boni Halwale, you know, Boni Halwale is a medical doctor who doesn't practice medicine, but purports to know more law than lawyers lately. The question of how you get to that office is not a function of how you resign. Whether at the time of Jaramogi you are appointed to be deputy president, whether under this constitution you are elected
Thank you.
together, this very constitution
Thank you,
allows you
Chende.
to resign anytime
Right, thank you. Thank you.
without consulting anyone.
Aaron Churiot, before you, because from that particular clip also, I think, as Otiende is saying, the DCI has been expressing frustration that the office has not been cooperative as it should. I know you don't work there and you can't hold brief for that particular office, but don't you think, as he was actually telling us, that even the access to that particular clip was a frustration? They were just supposed to take, caption using their mobile phone from that particular, the video that we are being given to understand is 1 hour. Why aren't they also cooperating?
They issued a statement. And
They issued a statement.
I hope you
As a
read it.
retainer, okay.
They actually discounted his
They did
version of the
discount.
story. They said they gave him all access that was necessary. They went ahead to even further discount the theory that as an office they had not reported these particular officers are missing, and they attached the memo that they had issued and the letter that they had sent to him in their communication.
It's good to clarify.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So it's good to have that clarification of all the lies that Kinoti has told. But before that, allow me to, when Otiende was giving his dodge, I was just smiling. It's a dodge.
Why is it a dodge?
English is a difficult language.
He is crying. You're wondering, on whose behalf are you complaining, Otiende? As Uhuru Kenyatta said to you, the question that I've continued to ask Otiende, each and every time he continues to rant about, the deputy president has stopped deputizing, is on whose behalf are you complaining?
Kenyans.
Which Kenyans?
Kenyans.
Which Kenyans?
Uhuru
You
is
see,
president for
listen,
Kenya,
you had
not
your
for
time.
himself.
You had your time. Allow me to have my time, Otiende. You are normally a gentleman, save for the time when you put on your ODM colors. Otiende, Uhuru Kenyatta knows who he picked as his deputy. I want to believe the day he will feel that he no longer served his interest and they are no longer able to work together, they will have that discussion because you were never privy to their agreement. They will sort it among themselves. So let us not cherry pick here or no, this instance they agreed and they never disagreed. Even on this particular issue that you're trying to mislead the country, that people who've been elected together on a ticket cannot disagree on a particular issue is not the truth. Take, for example, the issue, as an example, the US, where Donald Trump is the president and Mike Pence is his deputy. There are a number of issues that they do not agree, and it's known in public. True. For example, on how to handle Muslim foreigners from Muslim countries coming into the United States. The policy that is in place was propagated right from campaign time up to their time in office by his deputy. Trump had a completely different view about it. He had said, when I become president, no person from Muslim dominated countries will ever visit this particular state. So there is absolutely nothing unusual about holding a divergent issue on issues of national importance. Therefore, distinguish that particular narrative and perhaps separate and know what is it that you can complain about, what is it. If ODM as a party you feel, for example, that things are not okay in Jubilee and you want to assist us, please, there'll come a time where we'll call out and say we need help. But as of this particular time, nobody has invited you into Jubilee to try and sort out the challenges that might be there. Back to this particular issue, Dibal. On page 6 of the Standard, and it's something that, you know, you glossed. I know you, Dibal. Whenever you are caught flat-footed, you love glossing. Oh, listen, keep quiet, brother. Watch out.
I was not glossing.
No, listen, you glossed over this issue.
Yes.
Listen to what the experts are telling Kinoti on why they think that he is lying.
Just speak the Standard as well. Yes.
Standard page 6. Yes, Telcos says logs information are kept up for 3 years as experts discount Kinoti's claim that the officer's handset had information was deleted. Yes. So phone records cannot simply be erased by formatting a device, as claimed in the murder of Sergeant Kipyegon Kenei. And the experts continue to discount this narrative that is being perpetuated. You know, the word is glossed.
Okay,
that's what it is.
Okay.
The issue of phone records has been discounted by experts. The office has given a clarification on all these myriad of claims that are being given by Kinoti, that we have given you all our cooperation. We have sent you all the officers that you asked that they come to your office. They have recorded their statements. That on the second day when we realized Kenei had not reported to work, we sent out an alert in communication saying there's an officer who's a person of interest. Please be in the know that since Tuesday he hasn't reported to work. And you need to understand the difficulty. And this is what I've tried to explain to Otiende and Jakoyo. They do not understand. The reason why some of us cannot go completely explicit on Kinoti and some of the things he says is that we understand that he has a family. And therefore, if we appear to be discounting some of these things, we can say some things that will hurt the family. So we are guarded in the kind of things that we can say, oh, we don't think it is this particular issue. Number 3, Kinoti told us that by triangulation, he was able to establish the 3 individuals who were in the house of Sergeant Kenei. Why are those 3 individuals still walking free in this country? Please, Kinoti. Why are you still allowing individuals who are in the house of someone who was found murdered to be walking in this house? Unless it's a new style of investigating where you say, I know this, but I'm letting you to walk and run free, cross the border to Uganda or disappear to Siberia. I mean, in all honesty, don't you see this thing for what it is, Dibal? That's why even some of us, you remember when we had this discussion 2 weeks ago, I asked a very pertinent question, and I'm happy that I've seen even other people. I saw David Ndii ask the same on Twitter the other day, that these investigating officers, they knew of what Echesa was up to. They knew that money had already been paid. Yes. They knew that they had met at a particular hotel and they have been moving around to this particular. Why was it so important that they only be arrested immediately they leave the office of the deputy president? Doesn't it point to a particular tale and narrative that was being drafted? Because there is no offense. Much as Jakoyo, you may want to mislead us, there is no offense called visiting the office of the deputy president. Such that you can say they had committed a particular offense. Right. There is no evidence that there is anything that they signed. And you know, Dibal, you want to tell me those 2 gentlemen are investors? Which investor signs a 39 billion shilling contract carried in some brown envelope by some shadowy looking characters in an office that is not responsible for that procurement? In my own assessment, these particular individuals, the reason why they have not been arrested is because they are here for something bigger than even what we are seeing. That chances are these are mercenaries, just like we had Artur and you remember those particular because if it is confirmed that you have already issued given a bribe, it is a crime against the laws of our country to bribe. Why haven't they been charged for that particular issue? So the finally, you know, I hear Jakoyo try to make light of this particular issue, say, oh, the deputy president sits in the National Security Council. How can he be threatened? Nobody will threaten him. But we are forgetting that it is this same Jakoyo who went to a funeral in Siaya and wept and said, Baba, they want to kill you. Yes. Remember him weeping? And at that particular time, Raila was the prime minister. More powerful perhaps even than this deputy because he had some executive power which the deputy doesn't have. So if at that particular time you felt that it was possible to threaten somebody wielding executive power, why do you think it will be any different for the deputy? I mean, what we are asking a very simple thing of you and Otiende, raise your bar. Don't glorify mediocrity simply because it pains the deputy president back.
Thank you.
I would wish to live in a country where an investigative officer gives us blow-by-blow account of the kind of things when you have murders like this that completely leaves you sitting at home and say, that is a job well done.
Thank you.
But feeding us with just theories and saying, oh, this happened, this, that, but because it suits your political narrative, you get excited about it, that is too cheap of you, gentlemen.
Allow me just to play the